Rishi, Diwali is coming up.
Yeah, Diwali is on November 6th, I believe. But
Yes.
before that, there are a lot of events, Hindu events taking place, one of which is Nav Ratri. And that
Right.
is, from what I understood it as a child growing up, was 9 nights where you go to temple.
Right.
Right, but now as I've gotten older, I'm beginning to understand more the significance of this 9 nights.
Yes.
And a lot of people have prayers around this time.
You know, it's very interesting that you say that, and I love the fact that we're such a cultural and multi-religious society, because you're talking about 9 nights. It's called Nav Ratri.
Nav Ratri.
Nav Ratri.
Yeah.
I'm learning. And
If I pronounce it correct
in other
myself.
religions, like the Catholic religion, you have the 9-night novena.
Really?
Yes. So we're learning about the similarities and differences in religions right here on Now. But you went to the temple, didn't you?
Yep. I actually went to the Monroe Road Shiv Mandir, where I spoke with Pandit Navin Maharaj over the weekend, and he explained what Navratri is all about. Welcome everybody. I'm chatting with Pandit Navin Maharaj about the significance of Navratri, which starts on the 9th of October. Sitaram Pandit.
Sitaram Rishi, it's a pleasure to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure having you, because the Hindu community will be celebrating Navratri. Tell me the significance of that.
As Hindus, of course, we believe, together with all our brothers of different religions, that God exists here, there, and everywhere. And for us, God exists not only in the male aspect, which we tend to commonly refer, but also as feminine. We believe God exists as mother as well. In the scriptures, it is said, Kuputra jayat kwachidapi kumata na bhavati. In fact, when God is worshipped as a mother, there is nothing that you can ask for that you would not get. And as such, the feminine aspect of God is worshipped in that form of Shakti. In the beginning of creation, when the Divine Lord inspired the creation, He manifests Himself as a dual form. Purush, which is the male principle, and Prakriti, which is the female principle or the feminine aspect of the divine. And as such, it is that feminine aspect that is instrumental or responsible for the entire creation of this world, and that is what we pay to reverence and respect to during these 9 days of worship to the goddess.
So why 9 days?
9 days because 9 forms of the divine goddess are represented. Durga is said to be the cosmic Shakti, the cosmic goddess of the 3 worlds. She is referred to in many of our scriptures as the divine creatrix. And arising out of that, there are 9 divine principles which originate from her, and hence giving you 9 lunar days actually of worship, not necessarily calendar days, because sometimes we get calendar days. Sometimes the Navratri would spread for 8 days, and sometimes it spreads for 10 calendar days. But the lunar days, just like our Muslim brothers who use the lunar calendar for calculations, the Hindus also use the lunar calendar. So you have 9 lunar days of worship to the goddess, representing each of the ninefold aspect of the divine goddess.
So why should Hindus do worship for these 9 days?
During the 9 days in the Devi Bhagavad, it's recommended. There are 4 Navrats that are celebrated throughout the year. 2 are said to be the 2 bigger Navrats. That's the Chait Navrat, which is actually heralds the beginning of the Hindu year for us. And then there is the Ashwin Navrat, which is at this point in time. Sociology, there is, of course, what is known at these periods of time tend to be a little more difficult because of the changing of the seasons, and as such one becomes more susceptible to various disease and difficulties. So what is recommended by our sages and our saints in their thinking and looking at the overall development of the Hindu and the Hindu community and spiritually, they design these 2 periods and they attribute it to the worship of the divine goddess. So when it is undertaken during this time, it is especially efficacious. In addition to which, when the goddess manifested for the first time, this form that you see here is said to be one of the greater forms of the goddess. She is called Mahishasur Mardani. During that time, she manifested, of course, to destroy a demon that was causing havoc upon the entire universe. And it is said that during these 9 days, this sacred battle took place. And on the evening of the 8th day leading into the 9th is when she actually brought about the destruction of this demon and rescued the entire universe. So it heralds a celebration during this time. And as such, many Hindus, in fact, not only in Trinidad, but across the world, even in the Caribbean, they mark this 9-day observance to the divine goddess by fasting, engaging. It's a time to be alone, they engage in tapasya. Tapasya meaning they do jap, they do lots of personal puja and worship, as well as congregational worship, because we would attend yachanas, we would go to mandirs, all of these things, but all for the spiritual upliftment and development of our own self.
Are there any particular times to worship on the particular days?
Nav Ratri, it's said to be 9 nights of worship actually. So the nights are considered to be extremely efficacious to worship the divine goddess, and the worship varies according to our homes, our families, according to the mandirs that we attend, according to what we are exposed to, because some persons may choose to go to mandir and they would worship via such. Some persons stay at home. A common practice during this time is the offering of the arghya, what is called Devi Dhar. It's a sacred drink that is mixed with 9 ingredients and offered every morning. Not a common practice during this time would be to stay away from salt food and to fast without eating any type of food at all. We remain 9 days without salt, especially we said that the goddess becomes pleased, extremely pleased by the dedication that is offered. So according to your dedication, as such, that is the merits that you would receive.